Oh. Waffle?
No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You have the microphone? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
of course, I'm ready.
Okay, welcome everybody that just joined. Our next speaker is Peter Cernohorst,
Yes.
and he will be talking about repairing DNS at TLD scale in the Czech Republic, I guess.
Yes.
Good luck.
Better in .cz.
.cz.
Good morning. My name is Peter Cernohorst from CZNIC. Few words about CZNIC. We are .cz TLD TLG registry. Now we have about 1.3 million of domains, and we have very strong R&D department. Yes, some people missing, or leave, but we follow the Power DNS way, so we need lots of Peters in CZNIC. Our products are not DNS, not Resolver, BERT, Routing Daemon, and Tourist Omnia. You can find colleague stands downstairs. And everything which is developed in CZNIC is open source. And for Tourist Omnia router, not only open software, but also open hardware. So you can download the PCB layout and bill of materials and construct your own router. And we do some research. And one of them is about some kind of stability or correct settings of DNS server managing .cz domains. We have very simple requirements. To get domains delegated to your servers, you need only 2 authoritative DNS servers for delegation. It's all. After this, we make some checks, but if you have wrong configuration or your DNS servers are dead, we only send email on contacts. Lots of time the contacts are old or non-existent emails and nobody responds. But we still think the domain holders are responsible people. It is their responsibility to have a domain up and running, but no all times. For information how big impact is the non-working domain or badly configured domain, we need some data. We inspired by IIS health check. It is a little bit older, but they made some checks for wall.se domains and get information for government sites and for big companies. How configured is their servers? Is everything is okay? And publish report every year in the past. We tested with DNS check mentioned in previous presentation, and for me it's very good. I can speak after ZoneMaster presentation, because now we use ZoneMaster for these checks, and it is very good and very fast tool. With the DNS check, it took 10 days to get through 1.3 million of domains, and it was very hard to process results. You get database with not so strict structure, and you need found everything. In ZoneMaster you get everything in JSON, in relation databases, and works very well. There is one important question, and it was in the questions for the previous presentation. What is correct state? I think there are people from which knows DNS, and we can try some small pool. Do you think it's necessary to have DNS server available over TCP and UDP port 53?
Yes.
Yes. And second question, IPv4 and IPv6, necessary for all DNS servers serving the zone?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and I think so, but yes, we have yes, some no in this part, and this is only second and very simple question. Third one, authoritative server should not be recursive. Yes or no?
Yes. Depends.
Authoritative servers in different AS.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yep.
this is the reason. Lots of people, lots of opinions, and this last three is very tricky. Without public zone transfers.
No, we don't care.
Don't care. Don't care.
Times in SOA record in some range.
No,
Yes. No, don't care.
And correct reverse records for DNS servers.
Would be beautiful.
no. Nothing cares.
Actually, no need to make a reverse group.
Yes, and they are only very easy questions. But DNS is very complex. Yes, a lot of people think this is very simple. No, it isn't.
And then questions.
Ah, okay. So we start with some guideline. It is very similar as previously mentioned effort of center working group. It is based on zone master default policy. We only cover critical and error states, which we can get from this zone master test. And we try to explain every setting, why it's important, set it correctly, or set it right, as we think. And this will be used in Czech Republic for National Cybersecurity Office. And this requirement will be mandatory for government domains. Now in Czech Republic, government and municipalities own around 7,000 domains, and lots of them are very badly misconfigured. Now this is available only in Czech Republic. We will work on translation in the future, but as we discussed it in the past, there is no effort, and I am a little bit pessimistic with zone master people's effort about make it standard, because there is too many use cases in DNS, and there is no one simple recommendation. This is only valid, correct state. So we made it mandatory for government, but for other people's this will be only recommendations. Some data from zone master checks over the .czech domains. We have 3.5% domains with critical errors. This means the domains are dead. All name servers in delegations are dead or don't provide the selected domain, and there is no simple solution for this problem. Or better, there can be only politician solution. We can adjust rules for domain registration. For example, .is, Icelandic registry, requires very strict rules, and when you broke your domain, you get warning over email, and after I think 4, maybe 8 weeks, the domain is removed and is free for another registration. But we prefer the way, yes, there is correct settings, but it is your domain, it is up to you. 14% domain contains errors. The most common is delegation mismatch. So registry domain, set some DNS servers to delegation and change your infrastructure typically. And this can end with longer resolutions and longer time need to found the servers. 3.5% of all domains, not from 14%, but all of the domains are servers without TCP opened. It is blocks, maybe not implemented. Who knows? No, we don't have too many DJB DNS servers at CZ.
DJB DNS can do TCP, but you need to configure it explicitly.
Yeah, but nobody does that.
No.
Yes, configure and made some ritual sacrifice or something.
No, it's just a second daemon.
Okay. Lots of servers are recursive or are pointed to private addresses. Yes, we have lots of domains which of their DNS servers is on a private namespace or private addresses, and lots of DNSSEC related problems. And if I ask for some question in the beginning, the DNS question, which is correct setting and which is not, is more complex than everything else. We have lots of domains with warnings. 1/3 of all domains contains some warning. The most common, no reverse records. And this is very common for IPv6 DNS server. Some domains owned by well-known people in DNS community is without reverse records for IPv6 servers. But IPv6 is with us for 18, maybe 20 years. This is same as IPv4. And we had yesterday's discussion about eDNS 0, and 5% of domain or their authoritative servers return bad response for eDNS query. So still lots of domains, it is about 60, maybe 70,000 of domains in CZ returns eDNS errors. Lots of serial numbers and too low expire values. Again, there is no correct value for all. There was a question for previous presentation for this. It's some recommendation, but you can have special use cases which you need the lower expire value. Yes, lots of domains have expire lower than refresh value. This is funny too. So, which we plan it CZ, because I missed one image. No? Sorry. Yes, so this was a result from DNS check. We're still running this tool. And in this result, about 3/4 looks okay. So it is great, but we need to scare people to get some attention. So we need to adjust the rules and produce more errors. This is only way how to get attention for domain owners or from administrators. We want to join this data from another sources. One nice project is DNS Magnitude from Nick AT. We wanted identify which domains are visited or heavily used, and try to focus on these domains, but still you get a very long tail of domains with few visits and with bad configuration, because these domains are typically on some home servers. Maybe the home service is turned off for years. We try to contact the correct people. This is the most difficult part, because sometimes when we send email, we get no response from people. Sometimes only angry response, no, this is not error, the domain is turned off because we want it, and lots of another complaints. And the main focus is educate people. We try to make topic from this and try explain why it's important to have a correctly configured DNS server. But this is the most difficult part, because everyone thinks he can understand DNS. And we also works on our own user interface or web user interface for ZoneMaster, but we can maybe join our teams and combine this effort, because we want something simple. When we tested in the past the DNS checks, lots of people after announcement test their domains and repair them. So we hope in the same result after we announce the ZoneMaster web page. So, this all, and it's time for a question?
Yes, 5 minutes for questions, yes.
Yeah. No.
Go.
Ray from ISC. I actually don't have a question, but I would argue if you can go back to the slide where the errors that are not critical, the next one.
This warnings.
Yes, this one. I would actually argue that bad EDN0 answer is a critical error, because there's an effort between the open source vendors to just obsolete the, well, basically make the servers that give you wrong answer if you ask them if EDN0 and they fail badly, then to stop doing all the workarounds in the resolvers.
We're just going to start believing them. Basically, yeah.
So there's an effort between the open source vendors that we should just stop supporting those servers, and there should be some date in the future where we'll just say server fail because you gave me a wrong answer. That there's two things. It doesn't have to support EDN0. It just doesn't have to. It does have to not fail. This is the two things. So I would argue that if it fails for EDN0, it should be a critical error in this test, and that applies to ZoneMaster as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for the question, sorry.
No, okay. I think this one is moved to guidelines. It is warning, but it is in guidelines. Servers needs to reply with EDNS0 correctly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if you
Yeah.
ask with EDN0 and it gives you server fail and it doesn't give you server fail without EDN0, that should be critical error.
Just remember that ZoneMaster, this sort of decision is in the configuration file.
Yes.
So you can always edit etc ZoneMaster and
Same
read this.
default.
Yeah, but it's not the default, but you can.
You can make pull request.
I'm arguing that we as a DNS community should set this standard, like see these errors as a critical.
When you talk about educating domain holders, how is it looking with registrars in between? Do you need to educate those as well?
No, because registrars very often have good configured servers. We found big registrars and contacted directly, and they repair lots of things very fast.
This
And-
is unique to your TLD.
Yeah.
I'm very sad.
Not all. Something, yes, but we have special infrastructure. We need this, and we cannot change it. And after 1 year, they start, yeah, we change it, and this is better because we are the best. And
I'm mostly seeing.
Sorry, I know that there is another TLD, for example, like in Hungary, when there is like mandatory like training for registrars. So it's not like, oh, I'm a new registrar, they need to do some training or some stuff. So it's not just like free and
It is for IP as well, it does not work. It is for .IP as well, it does not work.
IIS used to have that, but they removed that.
Any other questions?
Maybe a remark, but I manage quite some domains for our company, and the things you have problems with are the stuff that people ask for marketing reasons for some event for sliced bread version 2.com, and by the time you get everything correct, the event is over. Because it's set up by some lawyers.
Uh,
That's a big problem. And then the registry is for 1 year or 2 years.